What doesn't show? Are you sure? You have to cut over. No. You have OBS virtual camera. Doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. We're here in Gold Forest tonight to continue discussing Master YongHua's Chan instructions. Thank you all for joining us. Let's get started. Go ahead.
今天呢，介绍一位韩辉法师是河北，离北京呢，他12岁。
I got it. So, apologies. Today, let me introduce a person named Tan Hui. Master Tan Hui is from Hebei, not too far from, sorry, I can't see the B word, Beijing. At the age of 12, he met Master Daoan. He followed Master Daoan, left home, and became a novice. Translator's note on Shami, or novice, according to the Foguang Shan Dictionary, consistent with Dharma Shami is the title given to young people between the age of 14 to 19 who are deemed fit to participate in the monastic lifestyle in the near future. Thank you.
这个沙弥相貌生得很圆满，对人呢又很谦和仁人，所以到完。
This novice had a very pleasing appearance that's very easy on the eyes, with proper and full features. He was also very humble and kind to everyone.
因为他出家的时候，他师父和他说永远呢说一句。
When Master Daoan entered monastic life, his master spoke only one sentence to him in 5 years.
他知道啊，这个做徒弟的。 我师父应该这种感情呢，很和和。
Because of this, he understood that the relationship between the disciple and the master should be very harmonious.
所以他就对这个小徒弟特别爱护。 是的。
So, he took special care of this young disciple, took special care of.
令这个小徒弟呀，就读书，读了2-3年的时候，这个小徒弟世间的经历，
He instructed this young disciple to study. Studying for 2 or 3 years, the young disciple finished reading the worldly scriptures.
事情，书，已经退书啊，诗经、书经、易经、礼记、礼冠呢，
including the 4 books, 5 classics, the Book of Songs, Book of History, Book of Changes, Book of Rites, and the commentary of Zhuo. He finished reading them all.
史记，出家呢，史记，佛教的经典呢，他也读了很多。
He finished reading the records of the grand historian as well. As a monastic, he also delved into numerous Buddhist scriptures.
12岁到16岁，道安法师正式弃住落法，落法以后。 受记的戒。
He had followed Master Daoan since the age of 12. It wasn't until he turned 16 that Master Daoan officially shaved his head. After shaving his head, he received the full precepts.
但是这时候这个伤一定就不是一般伤。
However, at this time, this novice monk was already unlike any ordinary novice.
他智慧也高，辩才也修行也精进。 总而言之，一切都是超过其他。
He possessed high wisdom, great eloquence, and was vigorous in his cultivation. In summary, he surpassed his peers in every aspect.
其他的，
Others could not compare to him.
在没有到30岁的时候，就正式讲经说法。
Before reaching the age of 30, he formally began to explain the sutras and speak dharmas.
一般人呢，也欢喜听他这个说法，声音洪亮，像空中呢。
Ordinary people delighted in listening to his teachings. His voice was resonant, like a large bell.
所以他每一讲经啊，就很远的这个对一般人特别有。
Therefore, whenever he lectured on the sutras, people from far away would come to listen. He had a special affinity with ordinary folks.
他跟着这个道安法师10几，也在这个相住。
Thus, he followed Dharma Master Daoan for more than a decade, residing in Xiangyang City during this time.
以后，他就走到荆州，到荆州又受这个一般的官民呢来请他说法。
Later, he traveled to Jingzhou City, where both officials and civilians invited him to speak Dharma.
在这个时候，他的法缘非常盛。
At that time, a lot of people had strong affinities with his Dharma.
这时候，这道安法师就在长安，他在荆州，长安在荆州西边。
Meanwhile, Master Daoan was in Chang'an. He was in Jingzhou. Chang'an was located west of Jingzhou.
那么他见不着他师傅，你让他怎么样呢？
Therefore, he could not see his master. What do you think he did?
他就自己画了一个他的师傅的像，来呀，供着，早晚他就看供着，恭敬他这个师傅。
He painted an image of his master to worship. He bowed and made offerings, both in the morning and in the evening, showing deep respect to his master.
他这样子，所以他一般的信徒也都效法他这个样子画一张师傅的相片。
By doing so, he set an example, and many of his followers followed suit by painting images of his master.
那时候没有照相，没有影像机。
Back then, there were no photographs or video cameras.
所以照什么像画像。在家里也都供养这个印菩萨。
Back then, there were no photographs or video cameras, so they could not take pictures. He painted images, and at home, everyone made offerings to this seal-hand bodhisattva.
道安法师有一个名字叫印。
Master Daoan had a title known as Seal Hand Bodhisattva.
什么叫印手菩萨？因为这个道安在一生出来，在这个胳膊上就有一个好像皮似的。
Why was he named Seal Hand Bodhisattva? Because Master Daoan was born with a mark on his arm that resembled a piece of skin.
有一块皮呀、四方的，像一个印。那么这个印又可以可以推到这个肩背的，但是往下呢不能到手皮上，可以。
It was a square-shaped piece of skin resembling a seal. The seal could be pushed up to the shoulder area, but could not reach the fingertips.
到这个手背，所以一般人呢就叫它印手菩萨。
The piece of skin could reach the back of his hand, so people referred to him as Seal Hand Bodhisattva.
那么他这个那些个徒弟呀、也都恭敬这个向这个印手菩萨叩头礼。
Thus, his disciples also revered him, bowing and paying homage to Seal Hand Bodhisattva. Every day was like this.
他法缘特别的盛，名誉也特别高的这个堂会。
His Dharma affinities with his followers was very strong, and his reputation was especially high, this Dharma master Tanhui.
有人呢就问：“你的道和这个和尚的道和和？”
Someone asked him, "How does your way virtue compare with that of this monk?"
和尚就是和尚，师道安。
Monk, referring to his master, that is, Master Daoan.
他说：“和尚的，我的师傅，他的内横、浅深，我不知道，就是他自己里边的功夫怎么样，不知道。就拿。”
He said, "The monk, my master, the depth of his inner practice I do not know. I do not know his inner gong fu."
拿他外缘来讲，有很多灵验的事情，很多灵验的事情。
Speaking of his external conditions, there have been many auspicious responses and premonitions.
Okay, we can take a break here and go back to the beginning of the story of this particular monk. I think there's a question from JC. Go ahead, JC.
마스터, 현재 9일을 목표로 단식하고 있습니다. 현재 8일 차고 내일 저녁 7시면 9일 단식이 끝납니다. 9일에서 멈춰야 하는지 더 해야 하는지 궁금해서 질문드립니다.
This is Hua Jun's question. Master, I'm fasting, aiming 9 days, and today is 8th day. And tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., my 9th day is ending. Should I proceed or stop?
You have to go to work.
현재 백수입니다.
No, he doesn't work.
If he likes, he can do 3 more days. Or he can stop tomorrow. It's okay. So he wants to stop tomorrow, clearly. Okay. Too much suffering. This is a dharma of suffering. Okay. But you have to do it in moderation. Don't overdo it. Okay. So you reach 9 days. That's very good. That's impressive. It's a lot of. It's not easy. It's a lot of suffering. So. It's a major milestone, so congratulations. By tomorrow, if you feel like it, you can stop. Okay? Good job. All right. Anyone else? Okay, tonight we're learning about another eminent monk. Actually, it's kind of interesting because I personally heard so much about Master Taoan, how highly revered he was. And so these stories are kind of like give us more information about this very famous Chinese monk. Tan Hui, he was a lay person who met Master Taoan and what's all this Chinese here? Oh, the 10 novice precepts?
Right. They wanted
Too many,
to
I can't
give,
read it fast enough.
I think the second slide, the next slide in English, basically just trying to explain what Shami means. They feel that there's a need to explain to the audience.
Okay, so this young man here, he met Master Taoan. He was pretty young, and he followed Master Taoan. And at a very young age, he decided to shave his head. That's usually because he has tremendous blessings. Okay, it shows he's not interested in worldly things, and he enjoyed the peace and bliss from being with the monks, okay, and it's not just him. A lot of people are like that nowadays. I saw a lot of young people who came to the temples, Vietnamese temples, Taiwanese temples, and so forth, young and old, and they like it. They like the thing. So these people have affinities with the Dharma, and so he followed Master Taoan. And at a very young age, and then he became a novice at a very young age as well. This novice here, Master YongHua says, Master Tan Hui was a very he's kind of handsome, okay? Very handsome for a boy. That usually spells trouble. Men should be virile, should not be handsome. Just my personal opinion, okay? But anyway, he's very handsome. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. Participating with the Chinese translators, I learned a little bit more that the characteristics of his face kind of like invoked Buddha-esque qualities with their properness. I don't know if Venerable XS might add a little bit, or if another Chinese person might add, but that was particularly useful to me to learn that.
Okay, Buddha-esque. I don't know what Buddha-esque means. Let me check.
That's my American summary. I think there's some roundness of the face. They were discussing the roundness of the face was round like the Buddha's face.
No, Buddha face is, when the face is round, that's a shape of the moon. That's not manly enough. Usually, you look at Buddha's faces, from what I remember, it's usually rectangular. Okay, you look at these faces. Master Xuanhua's faces was kind of angular when he was younger. When he became famous and became a high-level Sangha, his face turned rectangular. Okay, so that's a Buddha's face, not round, my friend. Round is for the people who like pizzas. Okay, so I don't know which Chinese you listen to, but I suspect they like food. Okay, so anyway, so he's the Chinese here, to me, it seems to say that he's very handsome. For a boy, he's very handsome. And actually, it's a sign of blessings, by the way. When you have good looks, that's not only the sign of blessings, but also the sign of a good heart. Okay, and 对人很见共和蔼. And so, towards others, I don't know why it's so complicated, very easy on the eyes. This is so American. We don't talk like that in Asia. You know, it's like, okay, so American translation. We need to keep it Asian flavor, okay? But anyway, he was Qian so humble and kind to everyone, and also He Ai. I think this is He Ai, right? Okay. He is harmonious. So he's very amiable and very friendly with people, very sympathetic. Okay. So his personality at very young age is very, very impressive. Usually, when you're handsome, you tend to be very shy. How do you know? And so for him to be amiable and friendly and get along with people and be humble and be respectful, that's outstanding. You know that this person is unusual. Okay, I would be shocked that back then he was allowed to become a novice. His parents would have said, you know, I could marry you off and get a very good price for you. But he made it. So you see, it's interesting. Even his own parents supported his becoming a monk. That's weird. Okay, handsome boy, likable, respectful. My gosh, that's a great husband materials. We don't know what happened, but he became a novice. Okay, and a very young age too, which is very unusual. You see these stories, you can tell these are traits that shows that he's no ordinary boy at all. And so another aspect here on slide 57, he says here, Master Taoan. You remember Master Taoan, don't you? If you haven't followed us, Master Taoan is a very famous monk back then. And one of his characteristics, besides his fame, and he highly revered, you know, even Master Xuanhua spoke highly of Master Taoan. Master Tao An's characteristic is that he's very ugly. He is so ugly that he had to become a monk. And condition were that he happened to be revered by a handsome boy. So Buddhism is a humor in there somewhere. Anyway, so Master Tao An's very, very, very ugly. Maybe that's why when he became a monk, his master didn't want to talk to him at all. So he didn't speak to him for a long time, one sentence in 5 years. Okay? So in other words, his Master Tao An's master was actually annoyed with him. You don't accept a disciple, don't speak to him for 5 years. Okay? Once in 5 years. That's punishment. It's not teaching. Okay? I don't know the Chinese agree with me. I'm not Chinese, so I feel that for a teacher to only say one sentence and by from what my estimate is, my understanding is that Master Tao An is not a specialist in certain teaching. That's when you use one sentence, okay? So Master Tao An's master is certainly not a specialist at all to be picking on this ugly monk. So it's weird, okay? But anyway, you as a cultivator, you're supposed to endure it. Because Master Tao An endured it for 5 years. This is remarkable. Okay, and so in that case, it's an advantage to be ugly. You know, you have no chance. If you leave your master, no one would take you. You see, so it's funny how these stories, how the conditions arise and they click. Okay, it's so interesting. These stories, Master YongHua has a way of telling. It's kind of cute. Okay? And I want some people to know that I usually listen to the entire story, a good chunk of it, before I make commentaries. So don't think I react to every single sentence, okay, in my own defense, in terms of self-justification. Okay, so one sentence in 5 years, that's excessive. Cruel, excessively cruel. Because of this, Master Tao An, how Master YongHua put it is very, very nice, very sweet. He said he understood that there's the relationship between the disciple and master. It should be not harmonious. Her eye is amiable, not harmonious. Master's disciples are not supposed to be harmonious. Harmonious is when you are among peers. But when master, the disciple should be kind, should be amiable. I can go as low as amiable, but never harmonious. Okay? You English people, maybe it's American influence, but Americans are not into harmony. This is clearly Chinese influence. They stress harmony. No, it's that. So he feels that the master here is referring to the fact that Master Tao An felt that he had to spend more time with his disciple. And so, in other words, maybe he a little bit had PTSD, a little bit traumatized, and he didn't want this handsome boy to run away. Okay, and this is one of the advantage of being handsome. People like you. So they do more than you deserve. Never mind. And so Master Tao An, it's funny how Master YongHua puts it. Master Tao An is really, really still bothered by the way his own master treated him. So he's compensating for his own disciples. It's kind of sweet, okay? Back then, people were nice, not like nowadays. Okay, and so Master Tao An took special care of these young, handsome disciples. Ai Hu,特别 especially adores him and protective of him, like a loving father, more like attitude. And maybe that's what it takes to nurture Thản Huy. Okay? So what did he do? It's interesting. So it tells me about the level of Master Taoan's understanding, wisdom, and his style of training and so forth. So his instruction to his protege, okay, you could say his protege, because he's young and he needs to be molded and nurtured, okay, molded properly. And so he told his young disciples to study for 2-3 years. He's given the assignment of reading the worldly scriptures, okay, and he will explain, meaning what are the 4 books? I have no idea. Chinese people help me out. Taiwanese people help me out. What are the 4 books? The 5 classics from Confucius, books of songs, book of all those things. Very, very Chinese thing. And so these are considered the fine worldly teachings. Okay, so he's allowed to learn. The boy was allowed to learn all the worldly teachings, among which you have the master Confucius' teachings and I Ching as well. I Ching, that is Chinese wisdom here, a very specialized Chinese wisdom. So Master Shena also very, very adept at I Ching as well. He talked about that often in his lectures. And of course, Master Shena also knew about Confucius and Taoism and so forth. So Master Shena himself was very well read in the worldly scriptures as well. Difference is that I believe Master Shena read it after, not before. Okay, so the order is reversed. The boy, Thản Huy, was allowed to read worldly things, okay, and he absorbed it. So very sharp, not only handsome but sharp. That's very unusual. And some people usually are very slow, in my experience. And a records of the grand historian, I don't know what that is. Anyone knows? Chinese-speaking people? Asian-speaking Asian people? What's this? Okay. Oh, the history. The history. So the great men in history, I guess. Okay. Wow, that's good. So you make this impression on a young man. This I like. You create the impression on young men and to raise the young man's standards, not to think small. And for you who have children and nieces and nephews and so forth, keep this in mind. If you want to mold the children, there's a time where you need to introduce them to this concept of achievements, important people in history, role models and so forth that the world looks up to. And so it's a very good thing because otherwise your children set their sights too low in lives. This, I feel that I never got it from my parents, but my father is not a small shot, and so you have to be in that environment so that you naturally don't think small anymore, and that's very important for children. They need to have this because it creates an impression. It sets standards for them. I was very lucky when I was younger. I liked that. Okay, And so please keep that in mind. So I like this part where Master Tao allowed him to learn about the great men in our history. That is a very good idea. Okay? And great women too. But in China, there's no great women. Okay. And then he's a voracious reader. He read very fast and very sharp, because in 3 years you're able to understand the I Ching, you understand the Confucian teachings. This guy is very gifted. Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, you ask about 4 books. What's about it?
Yes.
It says it's about Chinese classic text. It's about the Confucianism.
Okay. Okay, very good. What about the 4 books here? And then there is this book on poetry, the book on book on history, Shu Jing, a book on history, and I Ching, a book of changes, and book of rights, okay, etiquette and so forth, and Zhuo Chuan. I don't know what this commentary is, never heard of it before. What's that? Okay. Anyway, yeah. This is our chance to learn too. Okay. Yeah. YouTube question, comment. Go ahead.
Thank you, Master. We have a YouTube question from Lyle. Also, I'd like to thank our YouTube audience for joining us this evening. If you find this lecture helpful, consider liking and subscribing. I'll try to pronounce the book name best as I can. Lyle said 4 books: Great Learning, Doctrines of the Mean, Analects, Mencius, and also he made comments, 5 classic of poetry, book of documents, book of rights, and I think he said I Ching, book of changes. Also, he made a comment, spring and autumn annals.
Okay. Commentary of Zhuo, what's that? Thank you. Thank you for your input. It's great. The Chinese culture is very profound, because they have so many sages coming to the world, and they taught their teachings, even though they're considered worldly, but they're very profound. Okay, Zhuo Chuan is what?
It's a short name of the full text. It's the 春秋左传. It's a full.
Yeah, 6. Because everyone on the internet can also hear you.
It is a shortened phrase. The actual phrase is 春秋左氏传. Is the 春秋传. Is the what's the?
So it says it's an ancient Chinese narrative history that is traditionally regarded as a commentary on the ancient Chinese chronicle.
Is that
Spring and autumn.
Is that the warring
Annuals.
states and so forth? Oh, that's a fun thing. That's not considered classic. That's just novels to me. I learn a lot from. I love that too. Yeah, the violent. Never mind.
It's based on history.
Yeah. They talked about great Chinese men, their ambitions and their advisors. I remember a story, very simple. When I was younger, I loved this story that the kings love to have the advisors. I don't know, quân sư, I don't know what's the word, English word for it. 军师. And so he advises, especially on when you go to war, you need a 军师 who will advise you on how to beat the opponents. Okay? So there's this king here in a small domain, he's looking for a 军师, and the advisor. And this guy is very famous. So he was referred to him, Sima Yi. I don't know if it's a Chinese for Tu Mai Yi. That's all I remember the Vietnamese name, because I love that story. Tu Mai Yi. Yeah, you remember him, right? He's like at the level, he's considered after Khổng Minh. Yeah, Tu Mai Yi is like almost there. Okay? Yeah, you heard of him, right? And so this guy is kind of ugly looking, very plain looking, unlike Khổng Minh is very handsome. Khổng Minh is very handsome, very elegant and stately. Sima Mai Yi is very plain looking, okay, like most of you. Just kidding. Don't take it personally. And then they said, this is the next Khổng Minh, the next genius advisor, next generation. So, but the king is like, you cannot, you're so ugly. So he said, okay. And so he's kind of ignore him. So, then one day, and the king happened to love horse racing, and his nobleman, one of his noblemen, is also very rich, very powerful, also loves to race horses, and they challenged they wanted to organize a race between the king's horses and the nobleman's horses. And the king's horses were not as good as the nobleman's horses. And I read this one, I was a teenager, like I was 12 years old or something. That's why it made an impression on me. And so the king said, my God, if I race the horses, I will definitely lose. For sure, there's no way I can beat his horses. His horses are much better than mine. So he said, hey, Sima Mai Yi, what do you think I should do? And Sima Mai Yi said, I guarantee you'll win. Said, really? And so, yes, Your Highness, let me take care of the race for you. And sure enough, they ran the horses, and they ran the races, the three horses. You select the best three horses. Okay, that's the nature of the race. And I don't know, you guys remember this story or no? You know the name, or you don't know the story. And so to the best three horses. So Sima Mai Yi says the first race, the officials put the best horse. Okay, and so Sima Mai Yi sent the king's worst horse to race against it and lost the race. And so he pitted the king's number 3 horse against the other guy's number 1, and then he pits king's number 1 against the other guy's number 2, pits number 2, king's number 2 horse against the other guy's number 3. So he won 2 out of 3, and the king was so happy and hired him on the spot. So I said, wow, some people are so smart. Impressed. You guys are too sophisticated nowadays. Back then, I made, wow, this is so clever. Anyway, so you learn a lot through these things, and so to me, it's very nice. And this kind of training here, I learned to appreciate it because it's not only worldly knowledge, but also sets a standard very high in terms of worldly wisdom as well. Okay, but he didn't stop there. And impressively, in 3 years' time, he's able to absorb all the worldly things. Usually it takes about 10, 20 years or a lifetime to study it. Very bright young man. And as a monk, he also went into many Buddhist things, Buddhist scriptures. Okay, so he followed, he met Master Tao An when he was 12 and he was impressed. So followed him around and then decided to shave his head when he was 16. Okay, and then after shaving his head, Master Tao An immediately allowed him to receive the full precepts at the age of 16. Maybe not age 16. Probably at the age 16, because right after he shaved his head. Okay, so it's also, back then it's okay, because they didn't have the full Vinaya yet. Vinaya, after they received the Vinaya from India, translated into Chinese, they later learned that you have to wait until you're 20 years old before you become fully ordained. But this is okay. Again, Vinaya is always exceptions. All right? So impressive. Master Tao An really took good care of Tan Hui. It's very impressive, very nice relationship between master and disciple. And Tan Hui apparently had high wisdom, great eloquence. I mean, he's slated to be speaking Dharma, because when you speak Dharma, you need to have eloquence. So that's why in Master Hsuan Hua's training for us, morning ceremony, you recite that mantra, Namo Photo, Namo Tammo, Namo Sanje, Namo Shili Mo. Oh, never mind. Okay, that mantra there will increase your eloquence. Okay, so Master Hsuan Hua has all these visions already. What he gave us is incredible. So this boy here, this monk here, had high wisdom, great eloquence. So he wasn't prep, but he got eloquence. So he came preloaded with all these wonderful apps, and was vigorous in his cultivation. Okay, vigorous. This is the key, and this is why I am interested in the Koreans. But the Koreans' culture is very vigorous. Okay, you see, this is what I learned from the Chinese style. Okay, and it's the stress on cultivation, like during the Chanchi here, is to be vigorous. What is vigorous? The Chinese have a definition, Buddhists have a definition. Officially, vigorous is that you look at the goodness and the evil inside of you. Vigor is not, it's very specifically defined. You look at your own goodness and your own evil side. Okay, it's very interesting. And it says, when it's good, okay, you want to do more. Even the smallest thing you still want to do. Don't discriminate. You do more and more and more and more. For the good that has been arisen, you apply yourself to do a lot more. For the good that has not arisen, then you make sure it arises. Meaning that you haven't had a chance to do good yet, then you make sure that you position yourself to do good. How do we do that in our world, in our small world? For the good that has not arisen, it's called growth. Is that clear? Doesn't make sense to you? Okay, it's okay. And so you see, it's beautiful because you vigor is not about working day and night and so forth. It's about looking at yourself and then do more good and more good and more good. Okay, whatever you are able to do now, do more. What you are not able to do yet, push for it, plan for it. Okay? The evil side is such that the mirror opposite. For the evil that has arisen in you right now, you need to extinguish it. Cut it back, cut back, cut back, cut back mercilessly. And for the evil has not arisen yet, you work hard to make sure it doesn't arise. Meaning what? If you're a drug addict, then keep your distance. That's how you don't allow it to arise. Yes? So you avoid temptations. That's vigor, because it takes a lot of work in order to distance yourself from the evil that's this urge that arises in you, okay? It's constantly gnawing at you, say, take it, okay? Do it, okay? All right? So that's a definition of vigor. I don't know what I had today for lunch, but I never explained vigor like this before. Okay, it's kind of cool. Maybe it's the audience. Thank you. But anyway, so that's vigor, because when I first read the definition of vigor, I said, this is boring. What does it have to do with vigor? And I said, so I used to say, vigor means that you don't rest. But this is so beautiful. This includes not resting. But it's very specific. When you do Chan Chi here, you are doing good, aren't you? You are doing good. Don't shake your head. Okay. Cooperate. Liam. Okay, just kidding. And so, it's so beautiful because the emphasis, I failed to understand it up until tonight. I failed to understand it. It's not about doing more, but it's about looking at you. And the vigor centers around you, doing more good and suppressing evil. That's vigor. It's so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, vigorous in cultivation. Okay, again, you want to make progress, you have to be vigorous. That's my tip to you tonight. You must be vigorous. It's not talk. You want to increase your samadhi, you have to be vigorous. Is that clear? Okay? You don't come to me and say, how come I'm not improving? Okay. You want to improve? Be more vigorous. That's all. All right. Surpass his peers in every aspect. See, no ordinary young man. Others could not compare to him. All right. That's makes it important for him to be amiable and be able to get along well with others. So this guy has all the blessings in the world. He possessed high wisdom. Oh no, I'm going backwards. Before around 30 or so, almost 30, he began to explain sutras and speak dharmas. So Master Tao An primed him to speak dharma. That's how it looks like to me. Master Tao An says, you have all the attributes of a good Dharma master, so he prepped him for all these years. From the age of 16 to 30, that's 14 years. Pretty impressive. That's very, very fast. Okay, for him to be able to absorb so much materials, impressive. Okay, so Master Tao An then officially sponsored him to speak the dharmas. And sure enough, Master Tao An was right. People delighted in listening to his teachings, and his voice is resonant like a large bell. Okay, so he's designed to impress. Okay, the guy has all the attribute to be famous, to be revered. And some people are like that, who says life is fair. And it's funny too. I find it funny that his own master is so ugly. Give him all the advantages and privileges of a monk that he never had from his master. So it's kind of heartwarming what kind of person Master Tao An was. He's really a good monk, and that's very good for Chinese Buddhism back then. You need to have such things in order to create the goodwill from the followers. Okay, like Master YongHua did. He created a lot of Master YongHua. The way he created the goodwill from his followers is by healing. Agree, Jung? From I look at his life stories, his biography, and it says nowadays don't talk about culture and so forth. Just fix my problem for me, then I will follow you. Yeah, and that's why he had to die early. All right, and so those are different times back then. You can get away with with speaking Dharma alone. Okay, nowadays Master YongHua says speaking Dharma alone is not enough. You have to really carry people on your back and help them and support them. And that speaks so loudly to me what he had to do in order to establish Mahayana here in the country. All right, new territory. But anyway, Master Tan Hui was actually privileged. He has all the good stuff. A great master. He inherited a great following and the support from his masters, and his master endorsing him. So the guy is basically destined to be a celebrity. Therefore, whenever he lectured on sutras, people would come from very far to listen. You see, they like to listen to his dharmas. Special Han Yuan has special affinities with a lot of people. And so this young guy, Tan Hui, followed his master, Tao An, for more than 10 years. So that's okay. And so he's very loyal to his teacher. And so this tells you, very impressive, that Master Tao An managed this beautiful relationship, very productive relationship, and got his own disciples who can stand on his own to be very loyal and to revere his own teacher. That's very impressive. That's why Master Tao An was so famous and so well respected. Hello, everyone. Hey. Okay. My God, it's filling up. All right. Wow. Okay, and so I think this is a heartwarming story, and so I will be nice tonight. I heard that. So he traveled to Jingzhou, and the officials who, because of Master Tao An's celebrity status and endorsement of Master Tan Hui, and civilians here refer to Dharma protectors or rich people. Rich people, when you invite people to speak the Dharma, you must have something. Okay, so he frequented, Tan Hui frequented the high society, if you will, which is very interesting for a monk to go to do that and not get corrupted. So Master Tan Hui is a very virtuous monk. Tonight, as promised, I'd stay on the good side. I will not say anything negative tonight. It's called the middle way. And a lot of people have strong affinities with Dharma. Sheng is not affinity here. Fei Chang Sheng here is that he's very, very popular. Okay, his name, he has name recognition. He's a real celebrity, more or less, okay, in the Buddhist circles, in the official circles. Agree with me, Chinese-speaking people? Sheng here is actually popular, right? Not strong affinities. Okay. And so this is kind of a heartwarming story. The young monk was, of course, was sent away because that's a part of Master Tao An's plan, is to conquer Mahayana territory. Okay, so he sent his competent disciples out to colonize. And so, of course, Master Tan Hui was competent, that's why he was sent away from Chang'an. Chang'an was where Master Tao An resided. Tan Hui was sent to Jingzhou, which is far from Chang'an. And so Tan Hui missed his master, okay? Very mushy monk. You think about all the attention, all the adoration, and the how well he was treated, revered he was treated. Okay, he still worshipped his master, which is so cute. Okay, so what did he do? He also turns out to be a good painter as well. So he drew an image of his master, and he would make offerings in the morning and the evening. And so he had tremendous respect, not just respect, but adoration. It's more than that. So Master Tao An has a way of being able to create this loving relationship with his most competent, one of the more competent disciples of his. Very impressive, okay? And I'm pretty sure that Master Tao An never said, you should revere and respect me, but it came naturally from this young and famous monk. Very, very good people here, no wonder, okay? I'm kind of bored being so nice. Anyone has anything to comment? because I was criticized recently that I shred everything to pieces. And so I'm trying to review my good side. Way Mountain.
Thank you, Master. First of all, sending you big, positive SoCal vibes to last another 30 or 29 minutes saying nothing negative during this lecture.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
We believe in you, Master.
I don't
did
do
wanna-
well under pressure, children. Go on.
Master, thank you. I just wanted to express my appreciation for the insights that you consistently provide on the translations. And I learned so much from the points that you ask, and I just wanted to also encourage the Chinese-speaking members of our Dharma family to please speak up, because as I'm learning more about the Chinese language, it has complexities that English doesn't have. And I learn from every person that I hear from a slightly different perspective and a slightly different understanding of a Chinese character. So I really appreciate when people chime in as well.
Yeah, we're all learning from each other. I'm learning a lot too about these things. I'm sure I heard this before, because I send my disciples this tape here, my cassette tapes, and they transcribe this, and this is my personal thing. Back then I heard this, I couldn't hear very well or understand much at all. So for me, it's a pleasure, and I'm so grateful to all of you, your hard work. You know, a lot of people have to translate every day. It's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure for them. So it's wonderful you have that, and so now we all get to enjoy this, and might as well take advantage of it. Yeah, just speak your mind. It's okay, and at the risk of to make sure that our American disciple don't learn the wrong things. Okay. And he would I don't think it's a good thing to go home and draw a picture of me. Please don't do that. Because if I had to teach you, to give you advice, how should you draw me or so forth, I say don't. Let me tell you, I was when I left my master's. Yes, go ahead, save me. 6.
Master, it's too late. I've been drawing you for a while. So.
Yes, I like you too. When I started practicing by my own, because I could not find a temple or a master who could guide me, so I decided to bury myself into Master YongHua's teachings. Okay. And at the time, I was very, very poor. So all I had from him were all these cassette tapes, okay? And then a printed photo of Master YongHua that cost, at the time, $150 on very cheap. It's not even photographic paper. It's regular paper, but not even the paper you see in the printer. You know, it's even cheaper paper than that from China. Okay, yellow paper. You know what the photo I'm talking about, in the old Dharma seat, holding a whisk there, and he's with the, has a black thing, that thing here, you see, and very stern looking. Okay, and the resolution is horrible. For $150, I expect much better resolution than that, but no. Yeah. And when I became a novice, I was look at the photo. I said, "My God, I don't have any photo of him. I'd love to have one in my room." And so a monk, Malaysian monk, I still remember this Malaysian monk says, "You can take it." Because I went to the bookstore at the CTTB, City of 10,000 Buddha. I said, "Wow, this is such a beautiful thing." And I'd love to have something of him. The guy says, "Here, take it." I said, "But I don't have $150. He said, "Just take it." So I more or less stole it. Officially. Not my fault. I don't know whether he paid for it or I think he paid $50 for it or something. Anyway, so I participated in stealing $100. And so I carry it with me, okay, in my boxes. And then when it's my time, my turn, I decided to focus on doing Chan on my own, following the Chan Chi schedule you're going through right now. That's what I did every day. And so I said, I needed to bow to him every day because that's what Master Hsuan Hua did. He bowed and bowed and bowed when he first started. And I hate bowing. I hated bowing. I still do hate bowing. And so I went out to a framing store in Long Beach, okay? And I framed it. And this store charged me $300. So I was broke after that. And so every day I would bow to him. Okay? That's how I started. So I hope you don't do that to me. Okay? Because you have to bow to anyone, pray to anyone. Pray to Wan Yin, pay to... Be nice. There's nothing nice of me, right? Yeah. That's why I've been controlling myself and not comment on how nice Master Ta'an was, how wonderful. 25 more minutes. Okay, so anyway, please don't do that, because if you had to bow to a monk, okay, bow to great strength, bow to Wan Yin Bodhisattva and so forth, don't bow to low lives like us, okay? It's not a good idea, okay? Anyway. But I admire the fact that he's really revered his master and have total faith in his master. That is remarkable. Very rare men to be able to do that. Okay, to have that kind of deep and profound respect and worship his master is incredible. So you can tell Master Ta'an is no ordinary monk. Okay, and so, because Master Tan Hui did that, so many of his followers follow suit by painting images of his master. His master here refers to Master Tao An or Master Tan Hui. You see the problem? It spreads. Now, the next generation bows to monks. If you were to bow to all these monks, it's not this for your entire life. It's not as beneficial to you as to bow to Wan Yin once. That's why I don't recommend you bow to images of, these people. Okay? It says so in the Lotus Sutra. You bow to 62,000 Asamkhya bodhisattvas. Okay, is not as beneficial to you as bowing to one yin once. So what are we doing teaching you to bow to us and pray to us? Anyway, but so this is not taught by Master Tao An, but Master Tan Hui decided to do this because he really adored and worshipped his master. Okay, and he's a good painter as well. So the guy has many talents. It's not fair when you think about it. Everything is like handed to him on a silver platter. Everything. He has no struggle. If this is the case, we should have more monks and nuns. Okay, and so Master Tao An was known as a Silhan Bodhisattva because of his birthmark, I think. Okay, and so he's known as a Silhan Bodhisattva. Okay, and so forth and so forth. Okay, so now I'm learning that he's a Silhan Bodhisattva. Fantastic. Okay, and so Master Tan Hui is very famous at his time. And so someone asked him, he was asked, how do you compare yourself, your way virtue compared to the He Shang? He Shang is the master. So your masters, this is referred to your Master Tan Hui's master, Master Tao An. So Master Tan Hui response was, my master. Okay, and that monk you're referring to, he's my master. Okay, let me tell you. His expertise, I have no clue about his expertise. Okay, Nei Hang is what he's very skilled at. Nei is inside. Okay, his in-house skills, his inner skills. So meaning his expertise, his depth. Okay, I have no clues. Okay, and 这样的功夫，这样我不知道。Okay, so he says, my master is very profound. Okay, he's a very profound person, very deep person. That right there, folks, is characteristics of Buddhism. Buddhism is not about numbers. Okay, because the Buddhist monks will never be able to be as famous as, let's face it, Taylor. And we wish we could. I wish I could. 1 year, 1 billion, of like $10 billion? Seriously? Amazing. It's so nice. And so, you see, so the point here is that Master Tan Hui's praise his master is so remarkable. He's praising his master's depth. My master, he's very famous, he's adored, and he's revered, and he's respected by all the court officials and so many people. But you know what? What they respect, revere, adore is basically the tip of the iceberg. It is such a beautiful praise of his master. What happened, Daniel? You're not screaming anymore. I've been looking at the clock. I said, Impressive. Usually, after half an hour or so, we start hearing writing and, so what happened to you? Did you cheat or what? Anyway, so I have no clues as to the depth of his expertise. Nei hang is nei xing, okay? No, it's nei hang, is expertise. Okay? Agree, Taiwanese speaking people? It helps to know a little bit of Chinese. Yeah, tonight I want you to know the 3 Taiwanese, authentic Taiwanese people here tonight. It's very rare to have them all together. Applause, applause. Yeah. So nei hang, right? You agree? It's nei hang, is the nei xing, and so that's to me is such a beautiful praise of his master. Any questions and comments? And that stay on the nice side. Yeah? Okay. Oh, it's almost, time is up. This is 3 minutes late, so I have 2 more minutes. You look so nice tonight. So nice to have you here tonight. So many of you. And thank you for Mama for coming. Yeah? Anyone has anything nice to say? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I would like to let you know that we are consistently, on any given evening, having over 100 unique visitors to your Dharma talk on our English YouTube channel.
Wow.
I haven't done the number, for Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, and Spanish. I haven't run the numbers lately, but I know that we are consistently getting north of 300 unique viewers in our audience on YouTube each evening.
300 or 100?
100 on the English channel alone.
Oh, wow. You know, can I share with you a thing? 5 years ago, when we started tracking the YouTube thing, okay, and I was told that we had like 20 people, and I was so happy. Because Lu Mountain Temple, we have 5. So I was so happy we have 15 more on top of those 5 people. We all are told, I think they were told to sign on when they're there as well. So, and like, and subscribe. We all are subscribers. Okay? And so I was so happy, 20 people. And when I got to 40, I said, wow, I'm becoming famous. And then I heard, my heart sank when I'm told that Master Hsuan disciples, the guy in Berkeley, every night that he lectured, online as well, or his podcast, had 200 people. And I was so green with envy. I said, my God, my lifetime, I will never be able to make it. So please subscribe.
And only objectively to point out that while we simulcast in 4 additional languages, we've recently eclipsed 3,200 subscribers on our English channel alone.
Wow.
So I.
Thank you.
So I just want to send.
Yes. Continue.
I just want to send a big Mahayana, American Mahayana thank you to each and every one of our YouTube audience, no matter what language you're listening in. Thank you for joining us. And if you have an opinion on Nice Master, you could leave a comment and let us know so we can hear what you think about the approach to lecture tonight.
Good point. Thank you. It's first time for the year, so forgive me. Yeah, I was about to make a comment on that. Maybe after tonight's lecture, we lose quite a few. Master is so phony. Okay, thank you everyone. It's been such a good evening for me. He's so well behaved tonight. Everyone is so pleasant tonight. I didn't have to slap his ghost.